Hi guys, I'm Shmee, and if you've been following recently, you will have seen that I have been on the hunt for a new car. Owing to some delays of cars I've got on order, and a very, very busy and packed schedule of road trips and tours ahead, I put the question out to you guys via QT to get some feedback and thoughts on what the new car should be. And today is the day to reveal it, the new Shmee Mobile for the tours coming up this summer. And I've actually got it right here in my hand. I've got the new car, so are you ready for this? Are you ready for the unveiling? Because this is it. A 1/18 scale Aston Martin Vanquish Volante in Shmee Blue nonetheless. Isn't it looking good? Wearing a Shmee number plate. So this is the new car. Or is it? Because this is only a 1/18 scale model, and this is not going to get me on road trips across Europe. Or at least, not the last time I checked. So should we go pick up the real thing? Let's do it! Vanquish Volante, and why another Aston Martin, given that I've only just actually bought this car, the Vantage GT8. Well, buying this was such an experience. The brand welcomed me in, the excitement of it. I've kind of remembered how much I liked Aston Martin, so I've really enjoyed it all, and I liked the idea already of another one in the garage. The first time I have owned two cars from one brand, Aston Martin seems like a pretty good one to do it with. It was my first exciting car, was an Aston Martin Vantage, and the idea of DBS or Vanquish stood out an awful lot, so I got starting looking when we opened up the polls. But what's been quite interesting is through QT and the discussions, the car that I think most people have wanted to see is a 911, which is why I announced recently that I put in an application for a new 911 991.2 GT3. So if I get that car, that will render the idea of a GTS, 911 GTS, obviously pointless at this moment in time. So I was looking for something else, something that's very much a grand tourer, a car to take on these long road trips, cruising and soaking up the miles on the motorways down towards the south of France, the excitement of driving across Europe. So we want some luggage space, some practicality, some comfort. And well, DBS and Vanquish stood out, so I went to start sort of looking at DBSs, thinking about those, and then thought, why not stretch a little bit further and jump into a Vanquish? And then, let's just say, a particular car came up at Stratstone Aston Martin in Amersham, a particular Vanquish Volante Carbon Edition. So it's quite rare, it's got a lot of carbon fibre, which I think we all know that I absolutely love. And, well, it's a Volante. I can drive it with the roof down, enjoy the sound, the comfort, and the luxury, and that's what we're going for today. So we're going to head to the dealership, pick up the Vanquish, and, well, I suppose the next thing you'll see will be arriving at the dealership and checking out the new car. Now, I've already seen the car. We took it to Dub Customs, wrapped it in Shmee Blue, but it's here now to reveal for you guys out there watching. Get ready, let's check it out.
So this is it, the new Shmee Mobile. It's a 2015 Aston Martin Vanquish Volante Carbon Edition. We've got the 6-litre V12, a glorious exhaust note. Being the carbon black, it started in black paint, but I wanted it wrapped in my favourite colour, the Shmee Blue, so it went over to Dub Customs for that. It's the newer car with the 8-speed gearbox. It looks so beautiful, and this car is going to go off on quite a few adventures ahead. But let's get it outside into the sunshine to take a proper look around the specification. I'm joined by George from Stratstone Aston Martin, who is the man now responsible for selling me 2 Aston Martins.
Hi, yes, guilty as charged.
Well, I don't think it's a bad thing because they are particularly beautiful cars. The Vanquish Volante with the V12 is going to sit very nicely alongside the GT8. So thank you very much, George. I appreciate it an awful lot. But for now, I'm going to take you guys on a sort of walk around, talk around, so to speak, tour of the new car, the Vanquish Volante. Now, like I said, it's a 2015 car. It's the carbon black edition, which means it has a lot of sort of unique, bespoke, carbon-inspired highlights all the way around it that we'll go in on and talk about in a moment. We've got that 6-litre V12, naturally aspirated up front, 576 horsepower, 630 Newton meters. I should really crack open the bonnet so I can show you that in a bit more detail. It's got the same swan doors as the Vantage, which opens slightly upwards, and the underneath colour of the car is AML Carbon Black, being the Carbon Black edition, but I wanted it in something nice and bright to stand out. We'll come back and show you the interior in a lot more detail in a moment too. For the moment, let's come around to the front, open up this bonnet, huge piece, and this is where you can see that glorious engine. It's finished so nicely with the strut bar over the top and the light sort of ceramic colour, but also here we can see the carbon. The entire body of the Vanquish is carbon fibre, so not just the visible bits, the splitter, the side skirts, the side strakes, the mirrors, the mirror arms, the diffuser, but every single panel, the ones that are painted black and now wrapped in the blue by Dub Customs. So it has a plaque here, not the one, of course, like the GT8 from Andy Palmer himself, the CEO. I'll just drop the bonnet back down, drop that into place. But carbon black gives you certain features, like the raw carbon badge on the bonnet to match the GT8. You get the black grille at the front. You get all the sort of carbon around the car standard. So the strakes I mentioned, the door mirrors, the mirror arms, bespoke wheels, different wheels for the carbon edition, the 5 twin spoke that were black by default, but I chose to diamond cut them because I love the diamond cut finish against the blue. So it's been to Posh Wash to have that done in advance of being here, as well, of course, as going to Dub Customs. So like I said, I have driven the car, we have taken it out, but I wanted to come back to do a nice reveal for you guys and, well, officially collect it rather than just taking it to have things done. So we've got the carbon badge again at the rear, we've got blacked exhaust tips on the carbon edition. But you know, this is a quick car, nearly 600 horsepower. That means 0 to 60, 3.8 seconds, top speed 197 miles per hour in the Volante. It's quite a special, nice machine. It's a 2+2, so 2 sort of full seats, 2 kind of dummy seats. You could squeeze somebody in if you tried really, really hard, but it's basically additional storage space. The car has some nice factory options, like the Aston Martin 177 style steering wheel, slightly squared off. The waterfall feature again, carbon fibre trim. The dashboard we're familiar with the opposing rev counter that goes the opposite way, but I can tell you when you're up near the top with that V12, it sounds very, very nice. So this is comfortable, it's luxurious, but it's also quite a sporty drive. It's a very fun car to be behind the wheel of. It goes incredibly well, and it looks super elegant. So I chose the colour and styling to go with that kind of traditional Shmee 150 look in this colour, very much like the cerulean blue of my 675 LT, but originating from the McLaren 12C that was wrapped in this very same vinyl as well. So this is the car, the latest addition to the fleet. We've had a quick little look around it. I'm going to take some photos before the sun goes down too low. As you can tell, it's late in the afternoon now. It's actually already started going down on us. But doesn't it look good having the 2 cars together here, the GT8 and the Vanquish Volante, the new Shmee Mobile. So this is the car that you guys have helped me choose. You chose a V12 as the engine type. You did choose Porsche ahead of Aston Martin, but like I said, I've got, hopefully, fingers crossed, a new GT3 on order at some point in the future. And then I wanted a convertible. I know the vote went towards coupe, but I wanted a convertible because we're going to be heading down to the south of France, to Italy, and enjoying the Mediterranean and Europe and exploring, because that is what this car is for. Now, we'll get some photos before the light completely goes, and then we will head with the two cars back towards London. Two quick little things before we get on the move. The first is the model that I showed you earlier, and I'm sure you assumed I would have brought that with me. How cool is that, on the day of collection, to have the 118 model as well? So a big thanks to my friend who made this possible and put it together to have the model here for collection day. The second thing you might have noticed is the number plates. The SH12 MEE plate used to live on the GT8, which now has a new plate. I decided for a V12 Vanquish, I had to have the 12 plate on there and move the 16 to the GT8, partly because the GT8 is the result of Aston's winning GTE car, victorious in the World Endurance Championship in 2016, and also because the car was ordered and built in 2016 as well, so it just seemed fitting to have that on the car for the time being, and have those two now ready to set off. So welcome to Vanquish. Similarly to the Vantage, key goes in. Comes to life, and listen to this. Not bad at all. And then with the carbon black edition, you get all of the sort of dials anodized black. You've got the steering wheel, you've got black parts sort of everywhere you look. Basically no silver left in the car at all. Everything's changed, but you've got your sport button here, suspension control there, and you've got your volume controls for the audio, and I can see from the low sun that I need to clean my camera lens. But yes, everything is more or less as we know it, just this time with a V12. I guess it's time to roll out then. Vanquish first, GT8 will follow. This is a little bit trippy, double Aston Martins together, and I can't quite make this turn, so let's go into reverse. Now this car has the 8-speed box, which is so much cleaner and smoother than the older car with the 6-speed when the Vanquish came out, and I always said I would only consider a Vanquish with 8-speed, so this took buying one from a model year that could support it. See ya, George, just watching us as we make our way out. So, do I drive it gently, or do I do what a Vanquish is supposed to do? Oh, listen to that glorious exhaust note. Put the windows up slightly. So we've obviously got the roof down, because you have to start driving a car like this with the roof down, but we've got the wind deflector in, which basically means you don't get too windy sat in the car. It's sort of that whistle over the top, but you're quite comfortably kind of cozy down inside. This is going to be good. Days like this, sunny day, this is how collecting a new car should be. This is like perfect day for it. The downshifts. Okay, Aston Martin make the best engine sounds by far. This noise, the gurgles, the burbles, the rumbles. Wow. Okay, that's cool. I like it an awful lot. Now, if you're driving with the paddles, I notice it doesn't actually change gear itself. It stays on manual rather than reverting back, which is quite nice as well. We can press D to go back. Oh, this is going to be such a good car for the trips that we've got ahead. I am looking forward to this an awful lot, and there's enough boot space behind for more than enough luggage. And then you've got the back seats as well if you need a little bit more under the bridge. Oh boy, childish fun, so much of it, but today is the right kind of day for this. The right kind of day to pick up a new car and take it for a drive. Well then, an Aventador SV. Didn't expect to see one of those coming the other way.
That is so loud. So we're about to join the motorway, which means doing the roof, which you can do while you're driving. But obviously we're at a traffic light, so we can do that right now. Oh, we're starting moving. So this is the thing, you don't get caught at traffic lights because you can start moving while you're doing the roof. And away we go. That will latch down. We go around the cars that have lovely blocked the way. There we go. And you get that grumble. I love the sound of this car, but actually it's just transformed with the roof up. The character is completely different. It's now quiet, docile, GT, chilled. If I took it out of sport mode, it'd probably get a bit softer as well. That's the gentle, long distance kind of car, and that's what I wanted from a Grand Tourer. You experience it immediately, and the steering wheel is lovely to hold, the 177 wheel. Just wafts away. Okay, let's go back into sport though, because right now, new car. Drop some gears. Oh yes. Oh yes. Okay, we're gonna have a few miles that are fun with this. Smile per mile factor, very high. And we're back in the garage at home, but what a lovely day to collect a new car. The sun has been out in force, I think pretty much the first day of this summer, so I couldn't have timed it better to pick up a drop top Aston and take it out for a drive with the two cars back home. Now, if you'll excuse me, it's not permanently parked here. I know that's across two spaces, but we're gonna move it in a minute. I just wanted to park the two cars together so that we could move some stuff over. That's my permanent space. The GT8 is in back there, and one of them will go over to my storage to join the McLaren and the Ferrari, rather than keeping both of them here. But this is really the start. I know it's very cliche, but the car is about to go off on a lot of trips. The Wes Shmee Eurotour literally kicking off in a few days. This will be going along with the 675 LT Spider. And I am very excited to have these two together for the first time, because the colour on here is very much chosen to match the cerulean blue, the same colour as the sparkle in the McLaren's Orion purple paintwork. A little bit of a nerdy story, I know, but it should be awesome having them both out. The two convertibles driving in the mountains on the way to Top Marks Monaco and all of the other places that we're going to be going. So I hope you'll be hanging around and joining that trip. I will be doing my best to share it with you in every way. But this is the start. This is the car I think I subconsciously was waiting for and looking for from the beginning. I didn't really plan it as such, but I've always had a complete soft spot for the front engine V12 Aston Martins. In fact, when I had my V8 Vantage Roadster about, 6 years ago or so, I kind of at the time wanted a DBS Volante next. So the Vanquish Volante is the sort of this generation of that kind of car, that genre of car. And this is it. This is the Shmee Mobile for the moment. SH12 MEE, the Aston Martin Vanquish Volante. So there's a lot more to show you. I'll give you more feedback on what it's like to drive, what happens with the car as I own it and I use it and I do more miles on it. Of course, as I've told you, this is a 2-year-old car. It's about 2 years old at the moment. It had about 7,500 miles on it to start, but there will be many more in the future, and the lights just went off on me. Wonderful timing. Let's just move around. There we go. Coming back on the car. Anyway, for now, I better move them around, work out what I'm doing, what I'm keeping where. It's been a lot of fun today. Thanks to my friends who joined me. Thanks to George, who's led me astray probably with the double Aston Martin thing, but hopefully this is the start of some very cool Aston Martin adventures to come. And thank you to all of you for watching and supporting. I really appreciate you following my channel and making this dream possible. That is why I always want to be able to share everything I can back with you. So thanks to everyone who got involved in the discussions on QT and who's going to be part of this story going forward with the Vanquish Volante Carbon Edition. Anyway, I'll wrap it up there. Thank you very much for watching. Today has been an awesome day. Really appreciate it as always, and I'll catch up with you again very soon. Cheers!